Welcome back. Today we are creating a soft body scrub. This body scrub recipe calls for 4 important ingredients: the sugar, potassium cocoate, your choice of oil, and your preservative. Fragrance and everything else is optional. This is something simple to make. It will leave your skin feeling soft. You'll have a little glow tint after because of the avocado oil, but that's about it. The potassium cocoate will help to wash away any residue that you don't want on your skin. Now with that said, let's begin. We're adding in our carrier oil at 20%, which is equivalent to 1.2 ounce of our formulation. The first thing we're going to add to this formula is our avocado oil. We're using avocado oil in this body scrub because of how moisturizing avocado oil is, and once you use this on your skin, like once you wash it off, you still feel your skin just feel really smooth. So that's why we're adding avocado oil to this formula, and we're only using one oil. If you do just decide to choose another oil, you can go ahead and split the percentage to add in another oil as well. The next thing we're going to add is our potassium cocoate. We're going to add that into our oil. We're adding our potassium cocoate at 17%. That would be 1 ounce of our formula. Potassium cocoate is a natural liquid surfactant made from coconut oil and glycerin. You use it to add bubbles to your scrub. It also kinds of thicken up the formulation just a little bit, not a lot. It gives it a little bit of thickness, which I like when I add it to my formulation. This is an ingredient that I use in my scrubs. Like when I just begin, the first time I saw this being used in scrub was actually on, I think it was on Bramblesberry website. I'm actually going to link to where I get my potassium cocoate because that's the only place I purchase it. So you can also do the same. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in my preservative at 0.5%. This would be equivalent to 0.85 grams of the formulation, or 0.03 ounce of the formulation. I'll be using a pipette. I'll be using a pipette to add this to my formulation. Then I'll be adding my fragrance. So I add in my cherry fragrance at 2%. I'm adding in my cherry fragrance at 2% because I would like it to cover the scent of my preservative. My cherry fragrance is an essential oil based fragrance. I love using this fragrance in my formulations. Because I'm also adding in 2 colors, I went ahead and I split the total batch of the formulation into a separate beaker. In this beaker, I'm going to add in my first darker pink color. You know, I kind of eyeball this. You can put as much as you want or as little as you want in this section where it concerns the color. I ended up switching my beaker because that one was a bit too big for what I wanted, and I needed to split it to create that double color, that ombre color that I was going for. So in this first one, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my sugar. So I'm adding in my exfoliants, which is my granulated sugar, at 60.5%. However, because I want 2 colors, I'm going to split it. So the first one, instead of the full 60%, which is 3.63 ounces, I'm going to split it and allow it to be I think it was about 1.3 or 1.4 each. Once you add your sugar in, it is important that you use your spatula to mix it around and not your handheld mixer. If you use your handheld mixer to mix the scrub, it's going to create like a softer texture scrub. So even though I have granulated sugar in it, which is a bit coarser than brown sugar, if I go ahead and use my handheld mixer, it will create a much softer scrub, and probably that, you can probably use on sensitive skin, but you won't get, if you're someone who likes that exfoliation feeling, it won't feel as exfoliating. It would probably feel like way too soft. In addition to that, if you want to add more sugar to this, like say you mix it up and then when you actually feel it, you're like, it's not as coarse as you'd like, or it's, go ahead and add more sugar if you like. Now that that is completed, I went ahead and poured in my first half of my batch, which is the lighter color pink at the bottom. I just poured it into my jar that I have here. This is a 6-ounce jar that I will link below. I poured it in at the bottom first and make sure that was clean, and then I went ahead and started pouring in my darker pink batch at the top. Now originally I planned on this being like the presentation should have been like half darker pink, half lighter pink for, you know, a Valentine's Day gift type of theme. However, because this formula is so soft, instead of it just sitting on the top, it ended up just going down in the middle, and then the edges just run down to the side. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to play with this and just, you know, accept it is and just make it into something. And that's what I ended up doing. Hence why I took my stirring rod and started stretching the edges to kind of give it a bit of a ombre look, you know, presentation wise. Now this is the texture that it has when it's initially completed. Once it sits for 24 hours, it will have a little bit more body to it. I used it on dry skin here. As you can see, that white soapy effect that is given, it is because of the potassium cocoate. Once you use this in the shower, your body will be saturated in water. So you'll just, you know, your body will be saturated in water. You will go ahead and add the scrub to your skin and rub it in the same and get your exfoliation on. And then once done, you can easily rinse away. This is a view of what it looks like 24 hours later. I don't know if you guys already know, but I sell digital skincare business downloads, from thank you cards to Instagram story highlights. I do have a Print My Brain session as well, and an e-guide as well to start your own skincare business on a budget. If you're interested in that, click the link below. If you enjoyed this video, then you may enjoy one of my other videos about how to make a simple whipped body butter, or just go ahead and watch my playlist on how to start your skincare business on a budget, and a lot of other informational tips and tricks as well. Thanks again, like and share.